Hello YouTube. Hello, happy Monday night. So today, not too long ago, I'm not British. Not too long ago, I was thinking about that Bible verse. I'm not a Christian, but I was thinking about it today. What's it called? What is it? It's the honor your father and your mother, right? I'm out of breath for some reason. Honor your father and your mother, but what happens when they're not honoring you? You know what I mean? Like, I think in certain cultures and everything of this nature, there's too much of an emphasis on respecting your elders, respecting your parents, whatever, to the point where they're encouraged to just dust all the negatives just like under the rug and just like looking the other way. And I think as well too that, like, you know, sometimes we mistake that just because a parent, a caregiver, or whatever, just because they're providing for like certain needs, you know what I mean, that, like, as I was saying earlier as well too, that one should just kind of overlook everything else. But we really do feel, no, like, I've just noticed that, like, especially just through like observing my family, that there's just like a sense of neglect for the impact that can just genuinely have on one's mental, and how enslaving it can like actually be, hence like it becoming a generational thing, you know what I mean? And it's funny as well too, today I found myself, I started watching a Bollywood movie that I normally like used to like watch all the time, Kabhi Khushi Kabhie Gham, and like in the intro, I actually don't know what it means. It's unfortunate. Let me look it up, right? That's what we do. If you don't know, you look it up, sweetie. But like in the intro, as well too, it said it's all about loving your parents. I don't know if that's what it means, but, and it's funny as well too, like in the intro, it had the dad, the guy who was playing the dad, I forget his real name. And it's like, you know, just because, why does a father have a hard time telling his son like I love you or whatever, and continues to just say that, like, that doesn't mean what is it, he doesn't love the son. And like in that movie, whatever, he basically disowns his son, his adopted son, because the son chooses to marry a girl that has grown up in poverty, right? So like, yeah, sweetie, trust me, if a parent neglected me because I married somebody they didn't approve of, honey, best believe they better not hold their breath thinking that I'm gonna be holding the door open for them. Nah. Okay, it means sometimes happiness, sometimes sadness. Okay, anyway, I just added that part because I just thought it was interesting that I saw that part of the movie, just like, you know what I mean? And it's like, it's important to note that, like, it's a little weird when there's a hard time showing affection or saying I love you, you know what I mean? That's not, like, I think of my family, and like they like legit have a hard time saying I love you. Like, yeah, like they really have a hard time saying it. But anyway, as I was saying at the beginning of the video, that, like, yeah, there tends to just be too much of a expectancy on a child or whatever, or the youngest in a family, or just anyone who isn't like an elder or whatever, to just, like I said, just accept backhanded stuff all the time. And like when it comes to a point where you have to kind of question if they even like you, you know what I mean, then you know, that's definitely something to sit with and think about. Because you know what I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, like that's what I was saying, how things can get so distorted. Like, yeah, they're providing for you and everything here, but their actions apart from that, like, just kind of show, just kind of portray their feelings for you in a much more different light. You know what I mean? Earlier today, not earlier today, but some weeks ago, before I bleached my hair, I was like looking at videos of girls dyeing their hair, and they shared their reaction. They recorded like their mother's like reaction or whatever, and the moms like in the video were like so supportive and so nice, and I kind of just like had to like leave because I'm like, whoa, like I know that if I went to my mom with something I was excited about or whatever, that I'd be met with like a frown or something of that nature. Like my mom like has a hard time complimenting me. Like if I'll do something like that looks nice or whatever, like everyone in the like everyone will like compliment, and then there goes her, like, you know, just finding an issue with it, right? So things like that, you know what I mean? Like, and that's just the thing, right? Like, we're just not. There comes a point where one must realize that like we're just like not responsible for regulating and trying to just understand our parents, you know what I mean? Because like they are their own adults, and I think that's what it is well too, especially with like immigrant parents. Like you might tend to just like recognize and understand like the trauma that they've been through, because my grandmother is very psychologically abusive, and my mom and her siblings definitely didn't have an easy upbringing. It's not to overlook that or dust that on the rug, but it's like there comes a point where one must take accountability and control over their emotions, you know what I mean? Just kind of hiding under the, oh, I was just born this way kind of thing, or this is what I was like, this is what I'm like used to, or this is like for my generation. That's a very weak excuse, you know what I mean? Like, it's so important to just recognize what genuinely what like love is and what it's not. And that's why I was thinking as well too that like detachment is so important, in the sense of detaching from a person, or just like detaching the title from a person. So just detaching like the title of, you know, dad or mom or whatever, and really just viewing them as a person or whatever. And sure, it's everybody's first rodeo when it comes, you know. But if you wouldn't accept a certain kind of behavior from person A, then don't go accepting it from person B, you know? Because that's not normal. That's not normal. It's not normal to be surrounded by people in general who kind of just want to bring you down, or was kind of projecting a lot of stuff like onto you, blaming you for things. Being around people who kind of just ignore you, you know what I mean, who don't take the time to hear you, or you know what I mean, like that's not, if you wouldn't do that to other people, don't go accepting it from anyone. Doesn't matter if they're family or not. And it might like feel like a little weird at first too, just kind of like setting a boundary. That's definitely been a theme for me this entire year. Like, especially like when I bleached my hair, I had to ask I live with my family. I don't know if I said that, I probably did. But like I had to ask like my uncle to help me, because I knew like my mom would just like make it a whole problem. Like, if you know by sharing good news with someone will show you how much they're not really happy for you. Like if you know that, if you know to not share good news with somebody, is what I'm saying. that in itself tells you what the hell is going on. You know what I mean? I think as well too, because when you have like a family or whatever that provides for you, takes cares of you, whatever, in financial ways, or like giving you food and stuff, that can get distorted for like love, when really it's really just bribery, you know? But I'm like, I know when let's say I have a kid, I wouldn't be treating my kid the way my mom treats me. Why would I want my kid to not feel like accepted? Why wouldn't I want to support or compliment my kid? You know? And I'm just like at a place now, like I said, where I'm just really setting boundaries and stuff, and it just feels so weird. But like I know it's like for my own good, because like I know I don't deserve that. And you know, I'm always going to bring it back to Christianity as well too, because I was talking about the Bible verse, you know, honor your father and your mother or whatever. And the whole thing with just like fearing God and everything as well too, right? Like I hope people can recognize how that religion really distorts what like love is, because it's all rooted in that entire religion is rooted in submission and control and fear. And you know what I mean? It's insanely this or that, and that's not even how life goes. I don't know, but I do hope people can really recognize how that religion can really, you know, but yeah, that's what's on my mind right now. Because it comes to a point as well too when it gets just exhausting trying to be the mature one, you know, like whenever, let's say like my mom and I would like have like an argument, like I'd be the one going to say like I love you, good night, because I even understand that, you know, it cut me off because apparently I don't have any space. What the fuck? I deleted like so much stuff like 2 weeks ago. Well, yeah, well, I guess that can be like a lesson in itself right there. It's time to, like, you know, really unload a lot of baggage that's not even yours. A lot of generational stuff that's like not even yours. And being the ones just to do something like differently. You gotta let stuff go. Stop holding space for like literally what doesn't serve you anymore. You know? On a high note though, today I saw so many birds, which has been so nice. I saw so many birds. 4 crows, a woodpecker came right by my window, 2 blue jays, sparrows, this really big bird. I couldn't make out what it was though, but a very big bird. Did I say blue jays? I believe so. Starlings, mourning doves, pigeons, a lot of seagulls as well too. You know, these are just things that I've just been like reflecting on, and caused me as well too to kind of just reflect on my connections when it came to like other girly pops in my life, and reflecting on how my dynamic with my mom, how it's been replicated through some of my friendships. It's been interesting. But yeah, that's what's on my mind on this moon night. But before I do end, I would like to share with you guys what I drew the other night. Can you see it? My fishy. I was so stressed out to do like the zebra print at first or whatever, but like luckily, because like it's not like a precise thing, like I don't know, but we did it. Getting back into this and stuff has been so grounding for me and very fun. So I'm thinking, anyway, that's all I've got to share tonight for now.